Hello. Hello, and welcome to As We See It. My name is Robert. Today I invited two people in, a man named Don and Laurie, that are here to talk to the community about the fairgrounds. Laurie, welcome to As We See It here at ACTV here in Auburn. Thank you for coming in. Would you be so inclined to let us know here in the community what you are facilitating here in the community?
Absolutely, thanks. My name's Laurie Johnson. I'm the CEO of the Gold Country Fair. I think first it would be easy if I gave you a little bit of history of the Gold Country Fair. The Gold Country Fair, which is also known as the 20th District Agricultural Association, we are a state agency. We are directed under the Division of Fairs and Expositions, which is also under the California State Department of Food and Agriculture. The fair has 9 board members who are, of course, my bosses, and they are all appointed by the governor. We at one time got allocations when the state budget was doing better. We got allocations annually, and our budget showed great reserves, and we were doing very well. In January, 2 years ago, of 2012, or 2011, I'm sorry, all fairs in California, our annual funding was eliminated. So that kind of made us struggle to succeed financially. And we've been, for the last 2 years, basically in a major financial transition. So with that saying, I guess it's not the first time that you could say that California fairs have been in trouble. It happened before, I believe it was in the late 1960s, when the state budget kind of did the same thing. They said, you know what, we don't have money, we have to eliminate something. And again, California fairs were in a similar situation where this time they put the smaller fairs in California on a chopping list. Gold Country Fair, which was then known as the Auburn District Fair, was on that chopping list. That's the bad news. The good news was our great community that we're involved in, what Don and you know and are going to talk about later, gave that support. They wrote letters, they filed petitions, they contacted the legislatures, they contacted the governor's office. And then Governor Reagan was so surprised and pleased that he was so impressed that he actually removed the Auburn District Fair from that cut list. So we did survive, and we're going to survive this one too. But what is cool is after that, in 1970, at a celebration at the fairgrounds, Governor Reagan nicknamed the Auburn District Fair the little fair that wouldn't die. So I'm going to keep that going. I think that that's a great thing. So we're very fortunate to maintain that community support here. We're very lucky. That's kind of where Don and Leadership Auburn comes in, along with our service clubs. We actually have plans for a successful future where we're going to try to promote more interim events. We've already done budget cuts with staff. We plan on ground improvements, and that's usually where our money went, the allocations that we had before. Without that, then our fairgrounds is it's looking a little different. It gets a little shabby. So we're fortunate that Don and Leadership Auburn chose us to do their project on the fairgrounds. So that makes a big difference for us. So that way we can remain a jewel in the community, we can have events there, and we can be proud. And we're very pleased to be partners with the Auburn Leadership Group.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, but what you're asking here is the community here to take a good look at the fairgrounds,
right.
You know, where it came from, where it's been, and where it's at today, and what it can be for tomorrow in the next 100 years.
Exactly.
And with Don here, he's brought some pictures in showing the fairgrounds and what it looks like today and what it could be tomorrow with the help and support of the community. Don, is there anything you would like to share the differences and what you're hoping to let the public know?
Sure. First of all, I'd like to say what Leadership Auburn is. And Leadership Auburn is a group that's a nonprofit foundation within the Chamber of Commerce, and it's looking to empower current leaders and future leaders in a way that not only do they benefit through education of the community, history of the community, where the community wants to go, but also to let the community understand that this is an avenue that we all have and we can be a part of, and then in turn we give back to the community some form of a project that we all benefit from, and that is how you empower future leaders. So that's what Leadership Auburn is all about, and where we decided on this project was I called Laurie up, and Laurie was kind enough to say, who are you at first? And then I said, I'm Don with Leadership Auburn. And she goes, okay. And so we talked on the phone, and we decided to get together. And she said, we have some needs because the funding has changed, as she outlined.
Right.
Maintenance needed to be taken care of. There were a lot of opportunities. So she quickly and was very kind enough to put together a list of items, long list, laundry list, as we'd like to call it. And we went through it. And she also was very kind enough to say, now, I'm not telling you what to do. Anything we would be very grateful for. So as we looked at that, the group decided, well, what would we like to do? Well, our group is a very ambitious group. We've got a lot of background from architects, civil engineering, computer background. So we've got a big group of people, a diverse group, and they wanted the big project. Well, the big project, we felt, was to redo the entrance to the fairgrounds. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, when we decided on that project, this is how it currently looks today. So if you're driving down High Street and you're entering the fairgrounds from the High Street exit, you can see that it's kind of in disrepair, not real exciting, kind of nondescript.
Yeah, it's kind of dark. It's dark. I mean, I've walked by it several times. I've been in the fairgrounds a few times, but when I first was looking for it, I know I walked by it about 2 or 3 times, couldn't figure out where's that until someone, oh, it's right there. Where? Oh, okay. So, there wasn't enough signs, for me, me being 3/4 blind, to really actually find. But once I got in there, I was amazed for what I did see in there, and you have your book signings and all your fairs going on there, and all. I mean, there's a lot going on at this fair, and like you said earlier, Laurie, this is a jewel within this Auburn community, and by me being in there and other people that I've gone in there with, they find it very interesting, very quite of a nice area. It's just it's so homey.
Unique. We are, yes.
So okay, now you're talking about the project coming up ahead. Could you talk
Right, sure. What we started with is, you look at this, the pillars there, the original pillars that are in the center. There was a sign there that was above that, and that sign was taken out in the middle to late 90s, and that's why the pillars really have not had new signage since then. So what we've proposed in the new drawing rendition of what we're trying to do is, this is a iron mesh sign, new signage, and it says Gold Country Fairgrounds, so people know as soon as they make that turn, we're entering the fairgrounds of Auburn. And that was important to us, signage, for 2 things. One, so people know that it is a jewel and we want to treat it like such, so we wanted something that captivated your imagination right away. And secondly, for economic growth, people need to understand we're serious about the fairgrounds and we want to improve it. So signage was important. It also allowed us, as you can see here versus here, we're cleaning up this area, new landscaping, we're going to sandblast, or I should say blast with steam cleaning, pressure washing all the pillars and everything, so they're freshened up. We're going to put new landscaping all the way back. We're going to redo the ticket booths so that they have a nice fresh look. So the idea is to have a beautification. As soon as you make that turn, wow, the fairgrounds, and that's the goal, and that's what we're going to be doing.
And you was talking earlier, before we got live here, that you were talking about one of the pillars having a sign put up there, so we pointing in with an arrow there, or is there something
that
else?
Is a good point. Right here, this main pillar here, as you come to the street, this pillar will have a horizontal sign which will match the same styling of the main sign. So regardless of what direction you travel down High Street, you'll be alerted to the fairgrounds are here, and it'll encourage you to turn in, because as it is now, we have kind of an old blue sign, which would be in this picture here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And see that blue sign? And you don't really, on the other side of it is the fairgrounds sign. You don't really see it. And so it's hard for people, kind of just blends in. So this will also allow for that.
Is this the only interest into the park? Isn't there another interest, somewhere? Wouldn't you want to make note on that entrance too, to where it'll be just as sharp and as this one is here
Well,
too?
that'd be wonderful, but I don't know. I don't know that Leadership Auburn wants to take on both entrances, but there is. There's the other one off of Fairgate, I'm sorry, which is off of Sacramento Street, where our big parking lot is. A lot of people that come to Fast Fridays are probably familiar with that entrance instead. But this is the original one, the older one, the one that a lot of people come in. If you want them to come in, maybe a gal's coming to look at the fairgrounds for a wedding. That first thing that she sees, that's going to be her first impression. Right. That's what Leadership Auburn wants to do, is make that first impression and get people to come in. It's like going to be our giant welcome.
Right. Was it like, okay, I was saying earlier too about the, you know, the directions from Highway 80. Okay, you have that big bulletin board right there on my Maple exit right there, and then this is Fairgrounds this way. But when you go around the courthouse, it doesn't seem to be enough signs that are, you know, promoting the fairgrounds to turn right on High Street. So I'm looking at, you know, my personal view is that when I'm coming off the highway, I would like a perfectly direct sign going here each block, knowing that I won't have to turn left or right or go straight or whatever direction it would be. So I mean, I'll be more inclined to even go out there into the maintenance place and carve up some signs and do it myself if I had to.
I think we have to talk to the city about that.
Yeah, okay.
But there are signs, Robert, answering your question, there are signs that do lead you to the fairgrounds. And it's interesting you bring that up, because the sign, that main sign you're talking about on 80, that was done by a prior Leadership Auburn group.
Oh, was it?
It was.
I didn't know
so
that.
that's interesting. And then the other signage that will lead you to the fairgrounds, that's currently under development with a previous Leadership Auburn group as well. So what you're talking about is being attended to, and it is important.
Well, I mean, we have all the new gadgets now. You just, you know, put it in and it takes you right to where it maps it out there. But me being the old person I am, I like to be able to see the sign. Okay, oh, there it is, 5 miles up, you know. So I don't have to ask for directions. I mean, the signs will usually point me to the direction I need to go. That's why I'm an old man here, so it's...
Well, and a lot of people call the fairgrounds, and we talk them in too. They call and say, this is where I am, I can't find you, and we'll give them directions. So there's always that option.
Yeah. Okay, Laurie, what does this project really mean to the Gold Country Fair, to the community here? What's this, besides just the jewel and place for everybody to go to, but, you know?
With the limited money, we were limited on projects, the different things we could do. Being a state agency, they also had, CCA was California Construction Authority. If we had a project, we'd file it with the state. The state would grant us the funding, and so we could do projects like this on our own with the state. As we all know, with the state's budget, that money's not there anymore. So the money that we would have done beautification projects, improvements, that now has to go to our everyday expenses, our overhead, putting on the fair. The fairgrounds is an old park, the buildings, there's always, unfortunately, our water lines are worn, and so we're dealing with things like that. So when Leadership Auburn and we have other service clubs in the communities that do little projects within, that means the world to us. That lets us remain a park, remain vibrant in the area, and have people, you know, that want to come back and have events there. And then those events are what keep us with our revenue coming in and keeps us alive. So it's very important to us.
Yeah, well, since I've been here in Auburn for the last 2 years myself, there seems to be always something going on Lincoln Way and High Street. There's something always going on here in this community, and each time I see it or be a part of it, I'm just so amazed, and so I'm so happy to be, to witness it. You know, to see the fireworks. You know, they had what was it? The Taurus? No, it was the horse run. The Tevis.
The Tevis. Yeah.
The Tevis. Now,
the 100-mile run.
Yeah. Now that was the first time I ever got introduced to it. I took pictures of it, and they came. And I would, hopefully here within this year I'll be able to show that. You know, I went out with my boss, and she took some pictures and filmed it, and brought it all the way from Squaw Valley all the way to the fairgrounds. And I missed the fairgrounds with all the horses coming in, but I made it all the way in between that. And but just something of that similarity, you know, is something very valuable, very special, and it can bring a larger group of people from out of the cities, you know, into a community of this nature. So you know, I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm hoping that the community out here in Auburn, in Placer County, or anywhere, you know, that could come and get a hold of either one of you, and be a part of this new you know, restoration here for the ground, because it is a very valuable and it's a very nice place. Now, I've been to a lot of parks and nature places and like Yellowstones and the Sequoia National Park and stuff. But this is just, it's like all of it combined, and it's just one little nice little special place. Laurie, what, does the fair offer other benefits, other than just on the grounds there? So what else is it?
We do. We think of the events that happen here, but we actually offer an economic impact with benefits like when we have the fair. There's like 186 additional jobs during the fair time, or maybe during our big events, the home shows, Mandarin Festival. There's people needed for all these events, as well as the fair, as well as the money that we put back into our local communities. For example, when we have the fair, we have vendors, food vendors that are there. We have commercial concessionaires that are there, exhibitors. They all are going to go out. They need somewhere to stay. Some of them bring in RVs, but most of them stay in motels. Okay. We'd like for them to eat all their meals at the fairgrounds, but we know they don't, so they're going to go out and spend money at the restaurants and that. So when we have that event, they're actually putting money back into the community.
Oh, yes.
So I think that's important, as well as the tax revenue.
And taking away some memories that'll last them forever, and they can be passed on to their grandchildren too.
Exactly.
So Don, can we go ahead and continue, into to your, your pictures here, because I'm just so curious about it here. Is there going to be more trimming of the trees, or is there going to be more of a more structures that you're looking at getting?
We are. We're one of the things I didn't mention here is you can see the curvature here. It's not ADA compliant. And one of the things that in Auburn that we're all trying to do is make that happen. And as Laurie will attest to, a lot of people walk the fairgrounds during the day, even when there's not events.
Right.
So it's open. So what we're working with the city, and they've been very helpful so far, is we're going to cut in this curvature and the curvature on the other side. And down here you'll have what we call ADA compliant. Now it won't be a typical width that you have if you were making it from scratch, but what they have is kits that will actually make it so that if you're with a stroller, you'll be able to push it down. Okay. And the idea is, you can't see it in this rendering, but there's a crosswalk, a natural crosswalk that takes you across the street. So what we're hoping to do is tie that in so that you can actually come up the step with your stroller, or if you're wheelchair, to make it easier for people to not only access the front entrance, but for the park itself. And that's encouraging, because we do have individuals who have to use the disability parking lot, but they could actually come from out here easier because we'd have access on both sides. So the city's working with us on that, and that's exciting news as well. And the landscaping, you mentioned the generous nature of our community. Well, Isley's Nursery has been kind enough to already say that they're going to be a major supplier to the plants and the landscaping. So the project that we envision is going to be much more achievable because of their help, and that's the generous nature of our community. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank them for this show, as well as they do every time I go there. Isley's is going to help with that, which is enormous. So that's in answering to your landscaping. Yes, we're going to totally change that all the way from this entrance. You can't see it, but there's a secondary sign as you go through to the split in the park, and all the landscaping will be changed, as well as the trees trimmed and cleaned up.
Right. Okay. So. If I was just tuning in into this channel right now and watching this, what is it that the community can do to get a hold of you, where they can contribute what they would like to do with the park and be a part of this revival of the park, of your fairground?
Well, just so everyone's aware, there's many ways you can help us. The first one, obviously, is just a straight donation. Obviously, anything you give us not only will help the fairgrounds, but will make this happen. The project, we do have a cost on it, and we anticipate it will run about $50,000. So obviously we need as much we can get in terms of voluntary donations. So that's one way you can help us. And whatever you want to give is wonderful. The second way you can help us, we are going to be selling what we will call either pavers or bricks. There's two options we've listed here. We've not decided which way we'll go yet, but they'll either be pavers just behind the new signage that will be for sale for sponsorship, or as you can see in this second option, in the middle of the landscaping, we will be selling pavers. Now these pavers will have 2 to 4 lines of inscription. So if you want to give it to a loved one, recognition of your company, your name, anything you want to do.
I was going to say, I would like to buy me a brick, you know, have my name on, so that way I'm part of that.
In memory of,
Yeah,
people have even done it before in the gazebo. We have some there in memory of a pet. Whatever you'd like to do, we'd love to have them.
You know, that would be neat. And you donate the flowers and just anything, you know, that would help, you know, beautify, you know, the fairgrounds.
Labor's another option, whether it be volunteer labor or skilled labor. Anybody wants to swing a hammer or dig with a shovel, we'd love to have you. Groups can do that, or you can do it individually. We also need the opportunity to have contractors, general contractors, if they want to help us where the professional things are needed, like we're putting new asphalt in. There's many ways you can help this.
I've put asphalt on.
But you mentioned you were a mason, so you know what we're talking about. It takes a skilled person to make that work, and there'll be new engineering requirements so that the road stays looking nice, not only when we first put it in, but down the road.
And people that are not experienced in paving or masonry, or this would be a good place to come to start learning.
Absolutely.
You know, to be, you know, a landscaper, you know, a mason, you know, to learn asphalt, or as I'm remembering, to come in and look in the FFA, you know, for your sheep and your cattle and all that. I mean, there's a lot here that people, children and their children, will be able to learn and come to and be a part of. And as time goes on, you know, they may want to do the other interests with new bricks and with their names in it. So, you know, there's always an opportunity, you know, with this, you know, fair that I went into. I mean, to me, I would love to keep going each year, because there's just so much going on there, and it's just, I feel so much a part of the community. And so, so how can people get a hold of you guys? You know, is there an email, or is there basically people could you tell us?
They can go to the fair's website, which is www.goldcountryfair.com, which is on the screen. They can also call the fair office, which is 530-823-4533. Simply come by the fair office. You can go to the website, call, come by, we'll help you. And then I know Dawn also has some information with Leadership Auburn, either way.
Right. You can contact the chamber office at 530-823-5616, extension 223. Or you can contact myself at 530-330-4312. We can give you information on any way you'd like to help us, whether it be the ones we've already listed or some that we may be remiss in talking about. But we would love your help. We would encourage your help. And one of the things that I want to mention is I've been in the community 26 years. And this project, to me, is what this community is all about. And when you go there, not only do you feel at home, but you feel like if we can't make this work, then we're letting everybody down. Not only the people within the community, but the future people that want to take advantage of our community. So for us as a group, Leadership Auburn, this was a no-brainer, and the support so far in the community has been outstanding.
Okay, well, we have about 5 more minutes left. So again, I'm going to ask you again, what is it specifically, you know, that us being guys, you know, I'm a little boy. I mean, I love seeing the sheep and the cattle and, you know, whatever that's going out there. You know, what else can we, you know, inspire the community to come to the fair, you know, to keep them and bringing their children in? And what is it that we can really instill into the community? Please help. We need this, your support, you know, to help keep this fairgrounds going. So,
well, we just think the fair as an agricultural association, we promote education and agriculture, and it does, you know, everything. That's just during the fair. It's just tradition that we hope that people will join us in. And also, there's different ways to be involved. Have your events there. We have sponsorships. Help with Leadership Auburn. Join one of the nonprofits. Come. We have crab feeds starting this time of the year. Just come, or just simply just come to the fair. Just come to the fair and join us. Have some fun. We have some new changes this year. There's many ways to get involved any time of the year in many events. And
as we were speaking earlier too, isn't it that you have other projects that you're involved with?
Always.
Let's say the roller skating and
there's so many things going on.
There's a lot here. Could you know, share a little bit of that? What other opportunities that you could offer the community other than just the fair?
Well, there is one that's that's a project we need to talk about, which is Celebrity Chef,
Right.
which is coming up on March 7th.
Okay, see?
And Celebrity Chef is actually going to be hosted at the fairgrounds, and it's an opportunity where you can be a chef. You don't have to be a commercial chef. You can actually be someone who enjoys cooking. You can contact the 49er Lions Club, and they will tell you how to do that. You also and can help this project directly is buy a ticket for $15. That will get you into the Celebrity Chef. There'll be 34 booths. You can sample food, different cuisines, which is always exciting.
Yeah.
And they do a fantastic job. And the colors this year are going to be gold in honor of the Gold Country Fairgrounds. So there's those opportunities too, and that's happening right now. You can actually purchase tickets right now, and that will start helping this project as well.
By contacting you two here.
Either one of us,
Okay,
and there's
great.
businesses too
Right.
in the area, and they'll have a sign in the window that tells you come in and buy tickets.
Oh, good, great, great, great.
It's a great event.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again for coming in here at ACTV and sharing with the community what's going on here, what's coming up to the future.
Thank you.
Again, I heard about this and my eyes lit up, and I said, "Oh gosh, we got to let the community know what's going on here and how much more value this community is that they're sharing back with each other, and it's going to have a good impact for the futures that is coming in ahead." Again, my name is Robert Steffen, and I want to say thank you to everybody out there joining us here at ACTV. If there's someone out there that would like to come in here and learn how to do the cameras or soundboards or to learn anything, please get a hold of Paula Johnson or Bill Mell. Either one of them can guide you in here and teach you how to run these cameras, because we need your support too. I've had a lot of people coming in here from different varieties of people, and they enjoy coming in here. This ACTV is your TV station. So please get a hold of us and have this TV show here be a part of your inspiration. And show the people that what you got to give is of value and importance too, just as everybody else is coming in here and doing what they're doing, to share with you and how important it is that we keep the fairgrounds going, the authors going, the Salvation Army, the churches going. We have a lot of people here in Auburn that have very strong and deep stories to share. And Bill Mell, he's got a program called Making Music, and he brings in some beautiful people that are learning to play the guitar or singing and sharing their gifts. So again, get a hold of us here at ACTV, and we thank you very much for joining us today, and have a great year. Thank you.
Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.